Welcome to this practice. I'm Brett at Still Teaching, and today we're going to do a practice called the Embodied Mind. And this is based on a blog post of the same title. If you haven't read that yet, you can find a link to it in the description below this recording. So I would encourage you to do that before going through this practice. It'll just give you some more context and make it a more meaningful experience for you. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and pause, come back in a couple minutes after you've read that. Otherwise, let's go ahead and start getting settled in for this practice. As you're getting settled, I'll just give you a little bit of context here. So often our ideas about meditation center on the mind. The thoughts we're having. We hear phrases like emptying the mind or letting our thoughts settle. And when we focus just on the mind, we get a little too heady. We lose touch with our felt experience, the part of ourselves that grounds us in this place and in this moment. And so this practice focuses on how meditation is really an embodied practice. So we will start by settling the same way we always do. I'm seated, on a chair, but whatever position works for you is fine. My feet are flat on the floor. Hands and arms just falling naturally at my side, resting comfortably either in my lap or on my thighs. Back is straight, dignified, but not rigid, allowing some softness to enter your spine. And feeling your shoulders come down, releasing any tension you're holding there. And relaxing the muscles in your face. And you'll notice if you have done other practices with me that this is very similar to how I start most of my practices. And the reason for that is just to let my body cue my mind that it's time to practice, sort of facilitating that connection between the two so that my whole self is moving into this practice. And now maybe experimenting a little bit, allowing a slight smile to curl right at the corners of your lips. And just noticing if that has any effect on your mood. Or if it doesn't. And allowing your breathing now to fall into a natural rhythm. And again, just noticing if that breathing is having any impact on your mind, the quality of your mind. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Sometimes it will, though, even if it isn't right now. but thinking about the quality of mind that you brought to this meditation at the beginning and what it feels like now. And now once again, maybe experimenting a little bit, taking 3 deep cleansing breaths all the way down into your belly on the inhale. And that deep sort of breathing is directly connected to your vagus nerve. So all the ways that can spread out into your body. Connecting your brain to your felt experience right now. So whether you're becoming aware of your breathing or parts of your body, each of these things serves to engage the body with the mind while you're meditating for a more holistic experience. So often, of course, the opposite could happen. When you're not seated in practice, you might quite literally lose your mind. Let anger or frustration take over, and your mind sort of becomes disengaged from your body. And what's important in moments like that is to start over time allowing ourselves to notice the changes in our bodies that might act as cues to what's about to happen. So in this controlled setting, it's a little easier to do. Again, just sort of experimenting a little bit, bringing to mind now a situation in the past, maybe not an extreme situation, but a moderate situation where you may have gotten angry with someone or at something. And allowing that experience to play back in your mind, allowing yourself to feel those emotions. And noticing what that's doing to your body. Maybe you feel a little unsettled. Maybe your heart is racing. Maybe a little shakiness. Blood flowing into your face. It could be anything or it could be nothing. And if it's nothing, My guess is the more you do this practice, the more attuned to those little subtle changes in your body you'll become. Either way, the more you practice something like this, and it needs to be done over and over again, hundreds of times, maybe even thousands of times, the more you practice, the more attuned you become to those changes in your body, and the more you become able to slow down those moments when they're happening, or at the very least recognize them and step out of them, disengage, listening to your body and the cues it's giving you. It's not an overnight change, of course. It takes years sometimes, but it will happen. So coming back now into our breathing, noticing it. Maybe it's a little more disturbed now, maybe a little more uneven. Noticing how our body is sitting. And just recognizing, without judgment, that this body, your breathing, that's your gateway into this moment. And to fully experience your life. Your body has to be a part of that. And that all the work that you're doing and that I'm doing with, whether it's anti-racism or spiritual work, they're all connected. That work will always come back to this body and how it carries you through this moment. And bringing your body now back into the space that it's in, bringing your awareness back into the space that it's in, the room around you. in carrying this awareness of your body now as much as you can with you throughout the day. Thanks for joining me.